Good afternoon, it's 2:30. I'm Michael Adejobi and these are your Solent Sports News headlines. Manchester United have confirmed plans to add 200 more jobs at the club as part of another round of cuts. They have also planned to replace free lunches at Old Trafford with fruit. This has taken the number of jobs cut to 450 since Sir Jim Ratcliffe's Ineos began running football operations at United. This means more than a third of their staff has been axed. On to cricket, the Champions Trophy clash between Australia and South Africa has been abandoned due to rain in Rawalpindi today. The fixture was supposed to begin at 9 a.m, but after hours of delays, it has been called off. This means South Africa and Australia will take a point each. Staying with cricket, England Test captain Ben Stokes is set to miss this summer's 100 to focus on his fitness for the Ashes in Australia. The all-rounder tore his left hamstring in December, requiring surgery that ruled him out for at least 3 months. The 100 begins on the 5th of August and the Ashes starts in Perth on the 21st of November. Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca has suggested his side need to perform better in both boxes to put an end to their poor run of form. The Blues face Southampton at Stamford Bridge tonight, with both sides only picking up 1 win in their last 5 matches.
I think in the last 7, 8, 10 games, the huge difference for me has been especially inside the box, in both box, because unless probably Brighton away Premier League, all the rest we always create chances, we almost always score. So the difference probably has been inside the box. We need to be probably defensively more strong and more clinical when we get the chance.
Chelsea currently sits 7th in the Premier League table, however only 1 point away from 4th place and Champions League qualification. Dan Hooker has pulled out of his fight against Justin Gaethje at UFC 313. The lightweight fighter has suffered a hand injury and will be out for the foreseeable future. Rafael Fiziev has called out Gaethje to replace Hooker, wanting a rematch with the American. The two fought back in 2023, with Gaethje winning by majority decision. In tennis, Britain's Cameron Norrie was beaten in the opening round of the Mexican Open by Lerner Tien. Norrie won the previous meeting between the pair in Hong Kong, with Tien getting revenge, still ranked 9 places below the Brit. Due to this result, Cameron Norrie has dropped to 74th in the world rankings. With the changing of the seasons approaching, many golfers will be back on the greens for the first time in 2025. Kel Meadows started playing consistently last year and is now committed to improving his game with the start of the new golfing season. Our live team, along with Kel, are at Southampton Municipal Golf Course to find out more about his game.
Yes, thank you very much, Michael. You join me at Southampton Municipal course over by Bassett, where we have the free driving field range and we also have the free putting green. I'm joined by Solent golf player Kel Meadows. Now, Kel, just tell us a bit about your story. I hear that you started golf around August time last year. Just tell us how you first got into it.
Yeah, like you said, I started golf playing in August 2024. Got given a set of irons and a bag for free by a friend of mine. And then hit a few shots down at the driving range. I was like, oh yeah, this is good fun. After that, a friend invited me to his country club down in Surrey. Played a full round of 18 then for my first time and had great fun, and I've been hooked since.
Love it. So obviously you started playing in August, beautiful conditions, beautiful weather. We're here February, March time, just before the start of the golfing season really. You see it's absolutely damp and wet and muddy all over. How are you sort of going to cope with, how are you going to sort out your game and cope with your game in these sort of conditions? Yeah,
so like you said, club cleanliness is one of our most important things. We obviously have, like you said, very squelchy, wet, muddy water. And like I said, just club cleanliness is important. Only thing is when you're playing in these difficult conditions is the mud, the wet, and just divots everywhere. Whereas in the summer it's nice, soft and clean clubs all summer round.
Great stuff. Now we're going to get you to play a shot here with a 9-iron. So I believe you've got a ball in your pocket. If you just want to demonstrate to us, what's your sort of thought process, your sort of the way you set up and how you go about your shot, especially with a 9-iron.
Of course, yeah. So when you're playing, you want to have like a nice bit of grass to play it on. Then I want to make sure that I have got the middle of my club face right behind the ball, just tucked in there, and if the ball moves, just rearrange it. Then I want to make sure that the ball is in between my legs and my feet parallel to the ball. After that, I'm going to put my gloved hand at the top of the club, my right hand at the bottom of the club. Then you can move your feet around to get a nice comfortable feeling. After that, you want to pretend you have got a bucket in between your forearms, have a nice and tight. After that, you want to keep your eyes on the ball the whole time. If you move your eyes off the ball, you can reset and start again. So now, my eyes are now locked in on the ball. Forearms are nice and tight. Then you're going to bring your club back. Then you're going to bring it up behind you, and then you can swing through. So this is what it looks like in a full motion.
Wow, an absolutely cracking shot there, Kel. You did say before we start filming that your game epitomised Scotty Scheffler,
yes.
And I can definitely see it. Now, I'm dressed for the occasion, so now, if you don't mind, I'm going to have a little go.
Yep.
So if you just want to stand in front of me and just, I'm going to lay the ball down, and I saw how you were setting up sort of parallel, and just see if I'm doing anything wrong.
Yeah, of course. So like I said, just make sure your feet are parallel to the ball. Make sure the ball is in between your legs. And then once your feet are set up correctly, you want to then bring your club face just behind the ball. Make sure the ball is right in the middle of the club face. Once after that, I can see your left elbow is kind of bent inwards. Make sure that both arms are straight.
Nice and straight. The bucket.
Exactly. You've got the bucket in between your forearms. After that, you want to go for your backswing. Make sure nice and straight, once behind your head, and then swing through.
Okay. Let's have a little go then, Cal.
Beautiful shot.
Well, thank you very much, Kel Meadows, for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to seeing Kel Meadows' story and also Southampton's story in the upcoming months for golf season. Back to you, Michael.
Thanks for that, Max, but please never wear that shirt again. Galatasaray have accused manager Jose Mourinho of making racist statements following the team's 0-0 draw on Monday. Although it's unclear of which statements Galatasaray were referring to, the club have said they will initiate criminal proceedings. As the weather is getting warmer, cricket season is nearly upon us. Solent correspondent Huzaifa Yousafzai gave us all the details on what cricket gear you need and where you need to spend your money to enjoy cricket safely and properly.
Although it may be hard to believe, the cricket season is just around the corner, which means a lot of cricketers will be dusting off their old kit bags and getting ready for indoor nets. However, a lot more will have to go to the shops to buy some brand new gear. Although you can get bats for this price, they come with a risk of poor performance and they break quickly. This means a lot of players have to go and buy their bats from more expensive manufacturers like Millichamp and Hall.
And get a very, very good, cheaper bat. You can be lucky, but you can also be very unlucky, and then it's false economy, right? If you've got to buy 3 bats before you get a good one, you've paid the same money that you would have paid for a good one in the first place.
However, it's not just the cricket bat you have to buy. As many low-end sellers will tell you, once you start factoring all the other equipment, it means that it can get a lot more expensive.
Once you start to factor in a helmet, box, a thigh pads even, some people wear an arm guard, even shoes and the spikes nowadays become very expensive. If you were to factor everything in, it would be a big struggle. But there are genuine places who will sell you a grade 1 top of the range bat which will last you a good few years for around $350. With your gloves, you can get a great pair of gloves for about £50. You get really good pads for about £70.
Protective equipment is designed with a base level of safety in mind. This means you don't need the high-end soft to play safe cricket. However, it does come down to preference, but people with lower budgets and students will need to make sacrifices to get what they want.
On the softs, with any ranges, doesn't matter who you're buying, whatever you're buying, you will get finer materials, you'll get nice bits of leather, they will look good, they'll have all the extra protection. But the reality is, you score runs with your bat, not with your pads or your gloves or your thigh pad. If it's what you're doing and you're good at it, spend the money on the bit of kit. Don't go to Costa's and spend £6 on a coffee. Don't buy the most expensive trainers. Don't go down the pub and buy cocktails.
Thanks for the advice, Huz. You can go and enjoy your new bat, but I'm going to stick to the cocktails. Cheers.
After the Mercedes F1 team unveiled their new car on Monday, the new team captain George Russell has said he believes it's a significant change from last year. Mercedes won 4 races in 2024, 2 each for Russell and former teammate Lewis Hamilton. Last night, Leeds went 5 points clear at the top of the championship after beating second place Sheffield United in a late comeback. After going 1-0 down to the host, Leeds equalised in the 72nd minute, followed by 2 goals in the 89th and 90th minute to secure their massive win. South Africa's double World Cup winning prop, Steven Kitshoff, has been forced to retire after suffering a serious neck injury. The 33-year-old sustained the injury in September 2024 and has since revealed that he was 2 millimeters from death. Kitshoff announced his retirement today, saying he was devastated for his career to end this way. England head coach Thomas Tuchel has held talks with Arsenal defender Ben White about returning to international football. Since leaving the Qatar World Cup camp in 2022 for personal reasons, White had made himself unavailable for selection under previous manager Gareth Southgate. Tuchel said at the World Cup draw in December that he would reach out to White and seems likely that he will be recalled. Dartitis is a psychological condition that can affect men and women from amateur level all the way up to the big stage. Solent correspondent Ben Breeze and Patrick Fitzgerald found out more about the condition.
Have you ever heard of dartitis before?
I haven't. It sounds a bit silly. What is it?
It does sound silly, but it's actually a mental block which is seen in darts players which stops them from being able to release the dart into the darts board. But I want to find out more.
I think I know a few people that can help you out.
My name's Martin Godwin. I've played darts for 30 years, since I was 11 years old. Got dartitis about 7 years ago. It's painful, not on a muscular level, but mentally it's painful. Standing there and your arm is not moving and you're like, why can't I move my arm? Was a mental strain and struggle.
It's still a little bit unknown of what it actually is, but my understanding of dartitis is your brain just doesn't allow your arm to do what you want it to do, which then causes your arm to sort of like seize up a little bit.
Some players find ways around their dartitis using their own techniques to distract their brain from throwing a dart.
Because of the struggle was with the treble 20 predominantly, and that was the harder thing to hit. My doubles I don't think really hindered too much. I decided to start playing on the 19s, the cover shot as some people call it, so that made it easier for me to be able to release the dart and actually throw the dart.
As Martin says, he flies the arrows down south when he isn't playing well. But Jack now plays with his other hand because of it.
I'd got to the point where I was so bad at darts that I could have just been playing blindfolded, or I could have just swapped hands. Like I was immediately better left-handed than I was right-handed because I just got that bad. So yeah, tried it, loved it. I've never really looked back. I don't think I'll ever play right-handed again.
Not being able to master the sport that you love would put many people down. Martin and Jack share their emotional rollercoaster in darts.
Started off very slight and then grew quite rapidly, and it stopped me from really enjoying the game. It was at the point of standing on the oche, feeling so emotional that a tear fell down the cheek from the eye.
It was extremely mentally draining trying to get my head around the fact that I just, for no real reason, no injuries or anything, I can't do it.
Golf has a similar issue, known as the yips. John Withnow explains why he thinks they go hand in hand.
Personally, I think it's a fear of missing, so you overcompensate trying harder, and then you lose the fluency of the putting stroke and also the dart action.
I've been Ben Breeze.
I've been Pat Fitzgerald.
That's all from us. See you soon.
Wales hooker Dewey Lake has been called up to the Wales Six Nations squad following his recovery from a bicep injury. Lake missed the first 3 defeats of the tournament, but his inclusion take Matt Sherratt's squad to 38 players before their trip to face Scotland at Murrayfield on the 8th of March, with the visit of England 7 days later. That's all from us this afternoon. Remember, you can keep up to date 24 hours a day on our website, which is solentsportsnews.com.